Brooksby now takes advantage of a slip from Pete. Brooksby towards the edge of the area, cuts in field, takes a shot from distance. Wayne Brooksby with the left boot hits the bottom right hand corner, and the former Feaheny man comes back to haunt the side that he once played for.
Well, welcome to sunny Nethermore on a Easter Monday here for a very, very important Vanarama Conference North. Both sides here this afternoon need the 3 points desperately for two different reasons. Guiseley to cement their place in the playoff places, Stalybridge Celtic right in the mire in the bottom three, wanting to escape the drop into the Evo Stick North. And this afternoon, it's a welcome return for Liam Dickinson, who's finally served his suspension onto the break, and players coming back such as Gavin Rothery. So hopefully a positive afternoon for the Lions as we look to cement this place in the playoffs. We'll be bringing you full live match commentary here on Guiseley AFC Radio with Colin Robertson and Tom Feaheny. Stick with us here for full match commentary.
Brooksby now on the edge of the 18-yard box, comes charging in, plays the ball across the face, goal! It's into the back of the net, and it's Adam Morris who has scored Guiseley's third. Lions are in dreamland this evening.
Yes, and welcome here to Guiseley AFC Radio, and this afternoon's Vanarama Conference North match that we are providing you with full match coverage of is, well, it couldn't be bigger, could it, Tom Feaheny? It's a huge one for both clubs, and one in which really 3 points is essential for both these sides.
Well, a game that will affect both ends of the table for Guiseley. 3 points today, and you've just got to hope that would be enough for Guiseley with results. If they go their way, it would be enough for them to be basically guaranteed a place in the playoffs. For Stalybridge Celtic, they've gone on a fine run of form, 3 games unbeaten since Liam Watson took charge. So for them, they'll want to continue that run and try and get out of the relegation places. So much on the line, a big day, and the weather's good for it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day for football. If anything, though, could this be a influencing factor on the game? It's so warm relative to the conditions we've been experiencing. You know, I had a little jog around the park this morning, and I was feeling the heat.
Well, and it's one of them where you wonder if they might have to enforce maybe a little water break or something during the game, because it is red hot here at Guiseley at Nethermore, but I think it's a nice change from all them horrible days where it's been windy and rainy. At least that won't be a factor today, let's hope. But what a fantastic day it is for football, and me and you, we can be a bit smug because we're in the shade.
Yeah, I know it's not very often that you are searching for shade when you come down to watch Guiseley in the competitive season. Anyway, it has a feeling of the weather as so much of that start of season, pre-season campaign. The pitch is immaculate as ever, save for a couple of patches in the goalmouth away to our left at the railway end of the ground. You just see nothing but a sea of green out there, and it looks like an excellent surface to play football on.
Well, it's fantastic. It really is by the groundsman. That we remember that a couple of weeks ago when the groundsmen were working so hard when it was windy, when it was wet, and he just ensured that the pitch looked so much better. And you compare this pitch to the likes of Blackpool. It's remarkable, really, that the pitch is so much better here than it is there when you consider that they're obviously a team playing a couple of divisions above. So for Guiseley, full credit to the groundsman. And it does have a little feel to a pre-season game, just with the weather, and the pitch looks brilliant. But obviously we won't be playing like it's a pre-season, we'll be playing like it's a real game. And today there is so much on the line.
There is, isn't there? And for these two sides, obviously so important for Stalybridge to continue their good form. Since Liam Watson's taken over there, he's really changed the way that they're playing football, and he's really got the results ground out. That's always a problem, isn't it? That new manager bounce that we face with a side that comes here. We've faced that a couple of times this season. Andy Morrell, when he took over at Tamworth, he turned up and got an excellent result against us in that 2-2 draw, and then started that wonderful run. We had this last year with Frank Sinclair coming from Colwyn Bay. It seems to happen to us quite frequently that we hit the teams that have been in poor form coming back into good form with a new manager.
It always seems to happen, doesn't it? I mean, you look at Stalybridge, and the main factor that has been the case is that they've brought in this manager who obviously at this level knows so much. A fantastic manager at this level with a proven track record. But I think for Guiseley, you've mentioned a couple of examples there, and it just seems to always happen to us. We've got to not use that as a factor. We've got to play the way we can, and I think if we do, we should have enough to gain the 3 points today, because the lads know just how much is on the line.
Great rivalries as well between these two clubs. Quite often there's been players from both sides that have switched teams, and it will be the case this afternoon as well, that we'll have some old boys lining up against their old side in this particular encounter. Let's just go through those two teams as well, just to give you the lineups to begin with. First of all, for our visitors today, Ross Etheridge in goal, Stefan Galinski, Peter Wiley, Matthew Hughes, who is the captain, Matthew Regan, Michael Potts, Aidan Chippendale, Ben McKenna, Chris Sim, Michael Powell and Alec Madimu. And then on the bench, Paul Ennis, Oliver Crowley, Antoine Boland, Tom Bentham and Lewis King. So for Guiseley, it's a lineup as follows: Stephen Drench in goal, Ryan Toulson, Danny Lowe, Andy Holdsworth the captain, Danny Hall, Jake Lawler, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boschel, Adam Boys, Nicky Boschel and Ollie Johnson. So little change there. Jordan Hendry on the bench. Liam Dickinson returning for the first time since his suspension earned for that sending off at Solihull Moors has now finished. Jack Stockdale and Gavin Rothery, who started on the bench as well on Saturday. Stephen Dickinson, reserve goalkeeper as ever.
Well, I think when you look at it, it's good that Guiseley seem to be getting a settled 11 now, when you consider the amount of injuries Guiseley have had. Obviously, we've still got one or two players that aren't going to be available for the upcoming games. You've got Alex Johnson, who's now out for a couple of weeks with a toe injury. Ben Parker, who, I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, just when he'd been informed of how serious the ankle problem was, and he was absolutely gutted that he would be missing so many games now till the end of the season. But it's good to see the likes of Ollie Johnson being able to start from the off. It's good to see the likes of Gavin Rothery. I've been told by AD he will be available for the second half onwards if we need him. And obviously it's good to see Liam Dickinson come back after a 4-game ban, because I think it's been one of them where we've missed that option coming off the bench in terms of an attacker. Now we've got it, and Liam, it's written in the stars, isn't it? He's going to come back, score against his old club and win us it in the last minute. I'd take that right now. Yeah,
well, I certainly would. Liam Dickinson, of course, lining up against his old side. But on the other side, a couple of names that we know well from last season. Michael Potts, who has joined Stalybridge after earlier on this season playing his football at Fylde. And, of course, Paul Ennis, who had a short spell at the end of Steve Kittrick's reign here and at the very beginning of Mark Bowers. So quite interesting to see how these former players will take it. Michael Potts, he was a player full of energy, wasn't he, last season, who we felt merited a run in the side at times.
You know what, and he was a big argument. He was our man of the match in the player final. I really felt he had such an influence in that match, and we were so unlucky that we lost. And I think Potts has been unlucky how he went to Fylde. He started off really well there, and then just gradually he was told you're not going to be selected, and he's decided to go on loan to Stalybridge. Again, he's playing an influential role for them as well. And you look at Paul Ennis, who scored 10 goals for Stalybridge so far this season. Obviously, he was only at Guiseley for 2.5 weeks when he joined, but I think he's one of them. He's such a good option to come off the bench. Look, Guiseley, Mark Bauer will know something about him, and he'll know we've got to be careful, because if we're not, he will take the chances he's given.
Well, we're just a matter of 5 minutes or so away from kick-off this afternoon here in the Vanarama Conference North. Guiseley will be taking on Stalybridge Celtic here at Nethermore. A couple of things just to flag up for you in the meanwhile. Nethermore has been hosted to host the FA Plate, the Women's FA Plate and the Reserves Final here at Nethermore, all on one day. It's going to be on Sunday, April the 26th. The Reserve Final will be kicking off at 11 a.m. Bradford City will take on Sheffield United. So the Bradford City's ladies and Sheffield United ladies team will be kicking off at 11 a.m. on the 26th. And then in the afternoon at 3 p.m. It's Preston North End and Huddersfield Town who will be challenging for the FA Women's Plate. So 2 wonderful finals here to be hosted at Nethermore. Quite a prestigious occasion for us indeed. And that will be there at on the 26th of April. And just to add a little bit of local flavour, the Guiseley Juniors girls sides, the under-9s, the under-11s and the under-12s will all be acting as guard of honour and I think that'll be great. Don't forget also, on May Day Monday the 4th, we'll have the District FA, the Wharfdale FA Cup finals, the Wharfdale Sunday Cup between Ventus United and Yeadon Veterans at 3 p.m, and then the Wharfdale Challenge Cup final between Baildon Trinity Athletic and Ilkley Town kicking off at 7:30. So just a quick plug for those two things. And also a big shout out, I have to say, to today's match sponsor. The match sponsor is Overgate Hospice Elland. They've been nominated to be sponsors today. So a wonderful charity, of course, and a wonderful cause, and they'll be doing a half-time bucket collection here, and I'm sure people will be putting their hands in their pocket in support of the hospice there.
A real worthwhile charity and a fantastic initiative by Guiseley to give it to them, and that bucket collection, you hope that by the end of the day then buckets are full, because it is such a great charity and deserves the funding that they're given from today.
So long-term supporter John Arnold has organised this, and well done to him, and a wonderful cause. So hopefully people put their hands into the pockets at half-time. I know I'll be searching around for my money at the break. And we'll raise some good funds for them. Well, the two teams are now out. They're on the field. They've come out, and the two lineups are going to be run through again in a moment by myself. But as they just line up, guys will be playing in white with navy blue shorts, navy blue socks, and look to line up. Referee today, Tom Neal, just going through his warm-up in front of us, and the final touches are getting made to these two sides' preparation. So quickly down the two lineups once again. Stalybridge Celtic with Ross Etheridge, Stefan Kalinski, Peter Wiley, Matthew Hughes, the captain, Matthew Regan, Michael Potts, Aidan Chippendale, Ben McKenna, Chris Sim, Michael Powell, Alec Madimu, and then on the bench, Paul Ennis, Oliver Crowley, Antoine Boland, Tom Bentham, and Lewis King. For Guiseley, Stephen Drench, Ryan Toulson, Danny Lowe, Andy Holdsworth, Danny Hall, Jake Lawler, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boschel, Adam Boyce, Nicky Boschel, and Ollie Johnson on the bench. Jordan Hendry, Liam Dickinson making his return from suspension, Jack Stockdill, and Gavin Rothery, as well as Stephen Dickinson. Captain today, Andy Holdsworth, just shaking hands with the referee and his opposite number, Matthew Hughes even. The officials today, Tom Neild is the referee, and then Craig Hainsworth and Michael Brownset, the two assistants this afternoon. So it's a big day for both these sides, Tom. What do you think of just final thoughts ahead of kick-off?
Well, it really is a big day, and this can be one of them defining moments of the season for both sides. If Stalybridge were to gain something and stayed up, they could put this down as one of those days that defined the moment. For Guiseley, 3 points today. When you look at the fact that there are teams in and around us playing at each other today as well, it makes this game so much more important. You've got the likes of Charlie v Barrow, easy for me to say. You've got, them two, and and also Tamworth are playing as well. And I just feel like it's one of them days where if they both drop points, we really can help solidify our place, cement our place in the playoffs. Fifth time lucky, let's hope it is, but we've got to get there first.
Well, the two sides about to get underway. Guys who will be taking the kick, they'll be shooting from left to right, opting to change end, shooting towards the bowling green end of the ground. Stalybridge Celtic playing with blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks. Young mascot today, Lewis Scott, who's just used the occasion to celebrate his 8th birthday. Hope he's had a great day this afternoon. And we get underway, and immediately, before I've got time to start the stopwatch, guys, you have a free kick in the centre circle. That has to be one of the quickest free kicks conceded in football, that.
Well, I think that's Aidan Chippendale just making sure Wayne Brooksby knew where he was, because immediately from kick-off just took him out, and it's just one of them.
Played forward by Guiseley, headed away as Stalybridge recover possession with Chippendale, the perpetrator of the first foul of the game. Plays the ball out well to the right-hand side, and now Stalybridge come down that flank with McKenna. Ben McKenna forced back by Ollie Johnson. Cross comes in up towards the edge of the back post, and it's headed away by Ryan Toulson. But Stalybridge certainly starting this game with some purpose. Potts trying to win the ball back for the visitors in midfield. It's played down the left flank. There's a ball towards Chris Sim. Ryan Toulson forced into making the clearance, and it almost bounces in front of us and into the stand here.
I think that were aimed at us.
And it's in the end a throw in for Stalybridge inside Guiseley's territory. Throw from Regan helped away, but Stalybridge starting very positively here.
I think that's just a weird one by the ref there. Ryan Toulson knew what he was doing. He just kicks it off Chris Sim and throwing given to Stalybridge. I think everyone were expecting a Guiseley throw there.
The ball just gone out. It's a throw-in that's been given to Stalybridge. If anything, it was a push or a throw-in to Guiseley, but it's a throw-in to Stalybridge about level with the penalty area on the left-hand side. It's launched in by Regan, gets a good distance on those throws, headed away by Holdsworth. Back here to Regan, who's playing left wing at the moment, plays the ball across the face of the penalty area, cleared by Jake Lawler, playing centre half once again with Danny Ellis injured. Early pressure all Stalybridge Celtic.
And, you know, I'm not particularly surprised because that's how Liam Watson likes his team to play, likes them to get up and play with that tempo. But, you know, I think for Guiseley, it's just going to be one of them where they want to get the ball forward, get it to Boys, get it to OJ, and then they can hold it up and make Stalybridge work for it.
Great skills here from Ollie Johnson, who skips past two players, runs down the left-hand side, keeps going with the run, gets it back from Danny Lowe. Bit of a chase now for Ollie Johnson to try and keep it in play, but earns the corner for Guiseley. Super play from Ollie Johnson from his own half, down the left flank, gives Guiseley the first corner of the game.
Well, not only a nice bit of skill, but the composure he showed there because, you know, you're just worried that he's just going to force a crossing with no one in the area, sees the defender coming, kicks it off him, gets the corner.
Andy Holdsworth will take this. 3 minutes gone, 0-0. The Lions with the first corner from the left-hand side as they attack the Stalybridge goal. Holdsworth floats it in with the right foot into the 6-yard box, claimed well by Etheridge, and the danger passes. In the end, it was a bit too close to the goalkeeper.
I think it's one of them, though, where the communication by the keeper was key. He told his defence, get out of my way, this is mine, and collects it, because it's one of them where sometimes you aim it at the keeper and he fumbles it, he doesn't know what to do, and you get a chance that way, but the keeper did well there.
Clearance from Stephen Drench as the ball's returned to the Guiseley goalkeeper. Good firm challenge comes in, and Guiseley end up with a throw on the halfway line that Toulson takes. And then there's a little push on Adam Boys by Galinski, and Guiseley will have a free kick a few yards in from the touchline on the right-hand side.
If only this ref were there for the Hendersford game where there were so many of them, but there it's a clear push. Adam Boys pushed off the ball, clear free kick, and what a chance this is for Wayne Brooksby when you've got the likes of Boys, OJ, who you've got to say they're taller than the whole of the Stalybridge defence, so you want to get them balls in nice and early because you've got Lawler as well.
Free kick's taken, whipped into the penalty area. Boys finds himself a little bit of space, lays it back to Jake Lawler. Lawler fluffs his lines, lets the ball go past him. It was a good layoff, but Lawler just wasn't anticipating it. Brooksby now on the ball for Guiseley on the right-hand side. He's brought down here by Chippendale. And referee is just going to have a word with the Stalybridge Celtic man. Guiseley have a free kick in almost an identical position to the one earlier. And it's a few yards in from the right-hand side touchline, about 10 yards out from the penalty area. Almost level with the angle of the penalty area. And Guiseley have 3 or 4 players coming up this time. Nicky Boschel will take this one. Boys, Ollie Johnson, Jake Lawler, Danny Hall, all in the area. The cross comes in, whipped in by Boschel up towards the back post. Comfortable for goalkeeper Ross Etheridge to claim. And again, the danger passes.
Well, just going back to that previous chance, Adam Boys does so well holding it up. And I think Jake Lawler, I think he thinks he hears something, leave it, because he's got a great opportunity to have a strike and he just lets it go through his legs.
Oh, there's a little soft pass back just for a moment there, Ryan Toulson. The running was continuing from Stalybridge, and it was Aidan Chippendale who chased down Drench, and the clearance in the end has resulted in a Stalybridge throw. Regan will take on this left-hand side inside the Guiseley half, just a few yards inside the Guiseley half. Throw goes long up towards the edge of the 18-yard box, headed away by Ryan Toulson. Ball picked up here by Madimu, who skips past one and then is well challenged and then pulls Ryan Toulson to the ground, and there's a real tussle between Madimu and Toulson. And it came from nothing, really. I mean, it was a nothing sort of challenge, a fulsome challenge from Toulson, but no foul. And then Madimu seemed to cling on to Toulson, and the two of them were brought to ground. The referee, I think, is just going to say, cut that out. And the two slap hands, and guys, you have a throw in right back position.
It just that came from nowhere. Toulson, decent challenge. Madimu does that, and I think the referee's controlled that well. He's just given them both a little talking to shake hands, get on with it, because that really was something of nothing.
Nodded on to the halfway line, and Stalybridge again, full of tempo, full of attacking intent in this game. Pressing the ball forward now with Chris Sim on the ball. On the right-hand side, he plays it, and it's picked up here by McKenna, Ben McKenna. Up against Danny Lowe. McKenna gets a cross in towards Sim. Sim finds some space. Then there's an offside flag. He'll put the ball in the back of the net, but the flag was already up. I think it was Powell who was in an offside position in the area, but in the end, guys, you have a free kick. But a good delivery from McKenna and another early warning sign. Definitely,
and I think it's one of them you've got to say the Guiseley defence and Drench did not see that flag. They were trying to stop the ball going in, but you know, he's about half a yard offside. There were no real complaints from Stalybridge, but just a little warning there, and Guiseley needed it.
So, free kick for Guiseley inside their own 6-yard box. Plenty of goals going in the Vanarama Conference. We'll be changing that name soon, won't we, by all accounts? And in the North too. Just for a moment, Stalybridge send the ball forward, but a thumping clearance from Jake Lawler all the way back to the goalkeeper. Aldershot Torquay's already 1-1. Aldershot took the lead, Torquay equalised. Gloucester City have taken the lead against Gainsborough Trinity. Big game down the bottom of this division. Chester 0, Forest Green 1. Forest Green, of course, chasing for that playoff place in the conference as Peter Wiley clears for Stalybridge. And Fylde have taken the lead. Fylde 1, Colwyn Bay 0. And Harrogate 1, North Ferriby United 0. And Eastleigh, who of course also chasing for one of the conference playoff places, have taken the lead against Welling. So a flurry of early goals. None here at Nethermore at the moment. Although the ball's been put in the back of the net by Stalybridge, it was ruled out for offside. Guys have had a couple of corners. It's been high tempo stuff actually, given the conditions. You might have been forgiven for expecting the players to not have the energy in energy sapping heat as it has, but it started to cloud over a little bit and cool down a little bit today. And now Stalybridge have a throw in inside the Guiseley half. On the left hand side, Regan takes it's into the penalty area. Chippendale lurking, trying to get on the end of it on the edge of the 18-yard box. Wayne Brooksby clears. It's then played out of touch, and Guiseley will have a throw inside their own half. Tilson takes, gives it to Boschel, and then plays it long down the right channel. Flicked on by Boys, up against Galinsky. Towering centre half Galinsky. Cleared and then taken down by Jake Lawler. Tilson and Lawler combined to play it long up towards Boys. Headed away, but then for a moment Regan loses touch. Plays the ball into the back of the area. There's a little mix-up, and Guiseley almost capitalised. Adam Boys was waiting to get in. There was a last-ditch tackle. It looked like it might even send it into his own net, but it's gone behind, and it's another Guiseley corner, and that was all from the presence of Adam Boys, causing Stalybridge to make the error.
Well, yet again, Adam Boys doesn't give up on a lost cause, and it looked like Stalybridge were just going to be aiming to clear that. It'd be a simple clearance. In the end, that nearly goes in the back of the net, and Boys would have got a lot of credit if that had gone in.
Corner comes in, whipped into the 6-yard box. The challenge goes in for Danny Lowe on the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper fumbles it. Referee lets play go on. Danny Boschel now picks the ball up as Stalybridge clears. Picked up here by Wayne Brooksby. Plays it into the area, headed away. Firm header from Galinsky. Up now to Sim. Chris Sim takes it down. Good tackle comes in on Michael Potts from Nicky Boschel. Guiseley in possession of the ball again. Danny Lowe down the left-hand side. Gives it to Andy Holdsworth. Now forward towards Nicky Boschel. Good flick on. Ollie Johnson into the area. Plays it out here to Lowe. Lowe drills it across the face of goal. Claimed by the goalkeeper. And a good spell there for the Lions. Results with the ball in the palms of Ross Etheridge.
It just looks like guys are starting to get going now. They're starting to get men forward. They're starting to get the ball and really just put Stalybridge under the pressure they should be putting them under. And already it looks like when Stalybridge are put under that pressure, they do struggle.
Well, listen to this. Colwyn Bay have scored... Fylde have scored 2 more goals now against Colwyn Bay. Already it's Fylde 3, Colwyn Bay 0. Eastleigh 2-0 up against Welling. Lincoln City 1, Halifax 0 in the conference. So at the bottom, Colin Bay, who thought they were just working their way out of it, could be brought back into the fold. So lots to play for here for Stalybridge, and much of importance for Guiseley as well this afternoon here to cement the place in the playoff spaces, which is fine margins at the moment. Certainly 4 teams vying for 3 spots. 11 minutes gone, 0-0. And Stalybridge on the ball on the right-hand side with Wiley. He plays it into the area, and it's beyond everyone and out for a goal kick. Stalybridge have a good number of fans away behind that goal. 2 or 3 flags. Certainly will be positively buoyed by the way their side have approached this game. Yeah, definitely, and I think it's also one of them where it shows you how important this game is when the away fans turn up in good number. And you know, I just think with Stalybridge it is one of them where if we can just get going, if we can just get the ball and really put them under pressure, we'll be able to, you know, try and get a goal. And Colin, you're going to have to explain what that noise was in a moment. Yeah, it sounded like maybe the consequence of last night's chili, but no, actually it was me zipping up my fleece. Guys, you now have the... Tom's completely lost it. Guys, you have the ball in Stalybridge Celtic half, and as a free kick has been awarded against Stalybridge for a foul on Wayne Brooksby. So an opportunity now for Guiseley again to get the ball into the air, a bit further than the wonderful strike he got on Saturday. Certainly not in shooting distance.
Well, I was going to say, I saw Andy Holdsworth score a goal from about this range a couple of years ago, so you never know.
Brooksby stands this one very central, plays it up towards the edge of the area. Beyond Adam Boyes, kept in by Ollie Johnson, takes a slip. Referee already said it's gone out and it's a goal kick, but for a moment it looked like Ollie Johnson had done just enough to keep the ball in play. Goal kick to Stalybridge Celtic.
Just one of them where Adam Boyes and OJ, they put the defence under a good amount of pressure, and if Ollie had just been able to keep that, I mean, it's just gone out. If he keeps that in, they would have had a really good chance, but for Stalybridge there, they marked the 2 danger men really well, put them under pressure and basically forced Ollie into not being able to keep the ball in.
Ball goes long from the clearance, finds its way to the edge of the Guiseley penalty area, picked up here by Potts. Potts gets it out to the right-hand side. McKenna starts another mazy run down that flank. Danny Lowe's too wily for him this time. And it'll be a throw for Stalybridge. Halfway through the Guiseley half on the right-hand side. They have players forward, played into the area this time. Potts looking to win possession. Robbed by Danny Boschel. Ball played out towards Wayne Brooksby on the right-hand side. Brooksby takes a heavy touch. Knocks it out of play. Bitterly disappointed with himself because there was a start of a counter-attack. And in the end, it's actually a Stalybridge throw. Colin Bay have snatched a goal back, so it's Fylde 3, Colin Bay 1 now. Lots of goals early doors in that game. This time the ball from Stalybridge is poor down the left-hand side and out for a goal kick.
I think what makes it so frustrating for Wayne Brooksby as well is A, he had no pressure, there were no one really near him, but B, he had a free wing. If he'd been able to keep that in, been able to run down, and then he'd have had Ollie and Adam in the area, both waiting for the cross. So it's one of them where it could have created a real opportunity.
Oh, now there was a long ball over towards Chris Sim from the back. It looked like it was going comfortably back towards Stephen Drench, but it seemed to hang up in the air and bounce on the ground. And Sim didn't give it up. Guiseley clear though, Danny Hall, and then plays a lovely ball down this right-hand side. Wayne Brooksby into a bit of space, into the penalty area, plays the cross too close to Ross Etheridge, who came comfortably inside the penalty area. Adam Boyes had taken up a good position. I think Brooksby will be a little disappointed with the execution of that pass.
It's very central to the goalkeeper. He hasn't really had to adjust his feet to get onto that ball, so it's disappointing that he's been able to save it so easily when you consider that Adam Boyes was basically in a position where it was just him and Peter Wiley in the area. If he'd been able to find Boyes, you know, he's at least going to get a shot on target.
Fylde 4, Colin Bay 1.
Wow.
15 minutes gone. By my reckoning, they've had 5 goals there in 15 minutes. There's a couple of others in the Conference North at the moment. Guys, you just camped in their own half. Jake Lawler has to put a calm foot through it under great pressure. And then Wayne Brooksby surely got caught by Reagan. Referee gives the free kick, much to the displeasure of the visiting fans.
really good play there by Jake Lawler, just to say, because there's two attackers on him, and in the end, not only is it a clearance, he knew what he was doing. He finds Brooksby with the pass, and Brooksby there, clearly caught, clear free kick, and Guiseley now get on with it.
Well, the free kick's taken up to Adam Boyes. He can't control, and it goes back to the goalkeeper. Macclesfield 1, Wrexham 0, and Huddersfield 1, Ipswich 0. And the local sides that were following in the Championship today. There's a second goal for Forest Green as well against Chester. Guisey at the moment. Oh, just have to watch that one out. Jake Lawler takes a tumble near the fence behind Stephen Drench's goal. Under pressure from Chris Sim. And it's out for a goal kick. Just a reminder, if you do want to give us any thoughts you have on the game, always happy to take your tweets at Guisey Radio. And if you have any views or comments, certainly we're taking comments as well on Player of the Season, as the Supporters Club have started to collect votes for that. Guisey have won a throw on the halfway line.
Well, you've got to say it's going to be a really tough one this year. Who's actually going to win? So many viable options, and I think we'll all be looking forward to seeing who wins it in the end.
Yeah, there's been some great individual performances this season. Danny Hall now plays a good ball down that left-hand side. Danny Lowe made an advanced run. In the end, he couldn't get past the captain, Matthew Hughes. And then Chris Sim has been adjudged to have been fouled by Andy Holdsworth, and now, or in fact Danny Hall rather. And Hall is not happy with the decision, and Tom Neild, though, is not relenting. Stalybridge free kick, level with the edge of the centre circle inside the Guisey half. On the right-hand side, they're getting some players forward here. This is going to be dangerous for Guisey. And 4 or 5 players on the edge of the 18-yard box. This one will be floated in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Danny Hall. Nodded on by Potts, still around the edge of that 18-yard box. Galinsky looks for it. Sim grabs it. He takes a firm drive from distance. Stephen Drench watches that one as it bounces up in the turf in front of him, gets a chest behind it, and a comfortable save in the end.
Did well though, because just for a second it looked like it might be bobbling over his shoulder. He just made sure he made himself a little bit bigger, took control of that. Just got to say that with Chris Sim, he's really impressed the last 10 minutes, causing Guiseley some problems. But when Guiseley get the ball, it looks like the attack could be on its way.
Well, the ball with Nicky Boschel in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Tom, you managed to jinx that one, unfortunately. It was comfortably defended. And a little bit of trickery in the area for Michael Powell to get the ball forward. Clearance from Matthew Hughes. He gets it away. And Guisey come down the left-hand side now with Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby up against 2. Isn't going to get the better of Peter Wiley. And then the young defender gets a free kick for Stalybridge. And that sort of peters out to nothing after a promising move there from Wayne Brooksby.
It's a shame though, because Brooksby's worked so hard to try and get into that good area, and you can just see it ending very quickly when that happens, and then to give away the free kick as well. Again, it just takes the pressure off Stalybridge. They're able to push a couple more players forward, and really guys, they have to start again.
Free kick taken from Ross Etheridge. He gets very good distance. It must be quite a breeze out there, you wonder, because that might have influenced the change of decision. Certainly doesn't feel it from here though, does it?
No, not really.
But there was a decision to change ends. Maybe it was the low sun, actually. Well, Etheridge gets in tremendous distance on his kicks. Not sure if there's any wind assistance. Stalybridge, meanwhile, have the ball inside Guisey's half. There's a nod down from Danny Boschel as Guisey intercept, but they can't clear beyond the halfway line. Potts now. Little flick into McKenna. Good skill from McKenna. Flicks in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Headed on by Galinsky. Guisey win the ball back though. Danny Boschel takes a tumble. Nicky Boschel picks it up. Good bit of skill from Nicky Boschel to control. Gives it to Wayne Brooksby on the left flank. Boschel claims the ball back on that left-hand side. 2 to aim for in the area. Overhits it. Ryan Toulson's alive to the opportunity to keep the ball in play. Does really well. Gets the ball back into the area. Claimed by the goalkeeper. Under pressure from Adam Boyes. Super work there from Ryan Toulson. After Nicky Boschel's initial cross was overhit, he kept it in play. His cross into the area was well claimed, though, by Ross Etheridge.
I think it's one of them where Bosch's just about to deliver the ball and Toulson's already started his run. He can see maybe there might be too much on it. In the end, gets a decent cross in, and again the goalkeeper Everidge, his communication with his defence is really helping him, because he's just able to get the defence away from him basically to make sure that he's got a clean connection when he catches the ball.
Well, good work here from Aidan Chippenden. He's made some headway down the left flank, and in the end has earned his side a throw, just about level with the penalty area on the left-hand side, which when Matthew Regan takes, will get a long distance throw in on this one. Look for Sim into the area, goes up into that area, headed away excellently by Toulson. Ball sent back here towards Regan. Regan chests it down well, delivers the cross, blocked by Toulson, well watched from the full-back, but Regan gets the return ball into the area. Good flick from Sim, finds McKenna on the edge of the area, can't get the shot away, lays it into the path of Michael Powell. His drive with his left foot is high and wide, and it'll go behind for a Guiseley goal kick, but I'm sure Stalybridge will be happy with the way the build-up play resulted in the opportunity in the first place.
And I think that's it. When you look at a team that are down there, down in the relegation places, sometimes you expect them not to really have any chances during a game. And already Stalybridge have had 3 chances, one of them an offside goal, one of them saved by Drenchy, and that chance there, just a little bit too much on it. But they are at least creating chances in terms of their quest for survival.
Well, Sim and Holdeth have just collided on the halfway line, completely off the ball, and almost as if they didn't see each other because they were looking at the ball. They just bashed into each other. They're both up happily now.
Well, I just had my eye on that. I could see Sim going at a real pace and Holdsworth going at pace, and that's what's happened. Neither were looking at one another, and they've just collided. But in the end, both help each other up and shake hands. But just one of them, you could see it coming, because Holdsworth and Sim both rung it basically full whack, and then, well, the collision happens.
Clearance from Etheridge, again long, headed away by Jake Lawler. Up towards the halfway line, Stalybridge still battling hard and getting plenty of the ball inside the Guiseley half. Picked up here by Chippendale, who is the recipient of a hefty challenge from Ryan Toulson. A strong one that puts the ball out of play.
I mean, the hefty challenges, but the challenges where he's getting all of the ball, so they're not fouls. But again, Chippendale there just gave Tully a look there after that tackle.
Ball in from Regan into the penalty area. It's always good throwing opportunity from Stalybridge's perspective with Regan. And as he got the ball back, Ollie Johnson makes the challenge but can't keep it in play, and in the end concedes a corner. And Stalybridge have their first corner, I think, of the game from the left-hand side. Michael Potts will deliver. 24 minutes gone. 0-0 here if you're just joining us. Corner, though, to Stalybridge Celtic. Whipped into the penalty area, up towards the back post, up towards Sim. Headed away from him by Danny Lowe. Helped away towards Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson's pulled back by Regan, and Guiseley will get a free kick inside their own half, and the danger passes.
That's taking one for the team there. He could just see the chance for Guiseley to break was on, and Regan just hauls Ollie Johnson down. Make sure he don't get a booking as well.
Over the top towards Boys. Galinski watches the flight of the ball, a little certainly, and it's behind for a corner to Guiseley, this time on the right-hand side.
Well, that's it. Sometimes you just hit it long and see what happens, and Stalybridge defence there just seem to get in 6s and 7s, get it out for a corner in the end, and Guiseley now, they've got a lot of big men in there. Hopefully the delivery is good.
Corner for the Lions on this right-hand side, whipped in towards the area, towards Jake Lawler. Goalkeeper Etheridge manages to punch away. It's still with the Lions, though. Wayne Brooksby plays it back into the area towards Adam Boys. Etheridge again commanding his area so well. Claims the ball.
Well, Etheridge commanded his area well, but he nearly had egg on his face because Lawler had got ahead of him. And it's just one of them where there was just a little bit too much on it. Etheridge able to collect, but again, a good chance there.
Oh no, excellent work from Chippendale. He gets on the edge of the area, shoots, puts the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. Guiseley have gifted a goal to Aidan Chippendale. He took it down well, found some space, drilled the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. 25 minutes gone, and it's Guiseley 0, Stalybridge Celtic 1.
You've got to say that is a fantastic finish by Aidan Chippendale. The first 2 touches gets him into the area, and the third touch is a bullet drive right into the bottom corner. Steve Drench, no chance, but for Guiseley it'll be so frustrating because the last 5-10 minutes they've just started to get into this game, starting to create the chances. Stalybridge basically on the break, they get their chance, you've got to give it to them, they've taken it. Guiseley 0, Stalybridge Celtic 1. A lot of hard work now on the cards for Guiseley.
Well, don't forget, this is vital. Vital for the Lions as much as it's vital for Stalybridge. It's the pressure to get that place in the playoffs is far, far from secure with teams like Tamworth, Boston United, Chorley, all vying for 3 spaces at the moment. Fylde are out of sight in second. It's a championship race between them and Barrow, but for Guiseley this is vital stuff, and 3 points is a must this afternoon. And at the moment they're trailing by a goal to nil. Aidan Chippendale has scored it on 25 minutes, which will lift them as it stands out of the bottom 3. The ball with Andy Holdsworth, floats it into the area, flicked on by Adam Boys, nobody underneath it. Stalybridge clear, only as far as Danny Lowe, picked up now by Ollie Johnson. He's fouled on the edge of the D, free kick to Guiseley. This is very similar territory to the area that Wayne Brooksby took that free kick in on Saturday against Colwyn Bay.
Well, let's hope it's the same outcome then, because that were a fantastic goal by Brooksby. And I think the moment that whistle was blown, Brooksby grabbed the ball, basically trying to get hold of it, but it looks like he'll have competition with Nicky Boschel and Andy Holdsworth. This is in such a good area though, where you've got the option, you can hit it low, you can try and get it over the wall. There's enough room for them options to happen. And also you can maybe try and get a pass in with the likes of Johnson, Boys and Danny Lowe in the area. So a good chance this for Guiseley.
28 minutes gone. 1-0 to Stalybridge. Guiseley with a free kick here. Wayne Brooksby drills it in straight into the wall. Only as far as Danny Boschel. He drills a great shot in from distance. Super save there from Retheridge. A great strike from Danny Boschel though. Some 20 yards out. And in the end it's got Guiseley a corner. But the Stalybridge players congratulate the goalkeeper on pulling off a fine save.
Well, it looked like the chance might be gone when that free kick hit the wall, but it sits up perfectly for Danny Boschel. Fine effort there. Keeper, got to say, yet again has done really well to save that.
Corner now for the Lions on the left-hand side. Everybody in this penalty area. Ball in, up towards Nicky Boschel. He wins the header, but he can't keep it down and is behind for a goal kick.
It's a shame that it's the first corner where a man's been found, and Boschel there, he's just a little bit too much on it, and he's jumping as well to try and get his head onto it, so there's no way he'll be able to get it down into the net. But again, for Guiseley, you know, after conceding, it's good that they've had a couple of chances already. But again, it's just so frustrating that Guiseley have conceded, because looking back at that goal, it is one of them where that first touch by Chippendale, he's trying to hit it with his foot and it hits off his knee and it just takes Danny Hall out. And in the end, they get their look and they took their goal.
Well, Matthew Hughes just called into a clearance as the ball goes long towards Adam Boys down the left-hand side. Guiseley win a throw. Danny Lowe steps up to take it. He plays it short to Boschel. Back here with Lowe. To Andy Holdsworth. That's a poor ball, and now Sim comes away with it for Stalybridge Celtic. He's got few options, so he goes to the left where Chippendale plays it down the left-hand side, looking to get Michael Potts into the fray. Danny Boschel stands between Potts and the byline. Can't let the ball go out. Goes a good challenge, comes in from Potts, and still Stalybridge hassling and harrying. They win ball back in the penalty area. It's across the face of goal, headed away. Picked up now again by the Stalybridge with Michael Potts. He plays it to the left-hand side. A challenge comes in from Nicky Boschel. It's a bit too heavy on Aidan Chippendale. A free kick will be given now to Stalybridge in a dangerous area, and all that because Guiseley just couldn't clear their lines.
Well, I think it's one of them where you've got Ryan Toulson trying to keep the ball in play. He didn't want to kick it out for a corner, but sometimes the best option is just to get it out for a throw or a corner and let the side regroup, because you had a position there where Stalybridge, just looking at the replay, they had 5 players in the area compared to Guiseley's 4, so they had a real chance. In the end, Guiseley are able to clear, but they've now got to defend this free kick in a very dangerous position, and I've seen Michael Potts last season deliver some very good crosses.
30 minutes gone. 1-0 to Stalybridge Celtic here. And Potts with a free kick for the visitors. Level with the penalty area on the left-hand side, a few yards out from the penalty area. It's going to be delivered like a corner. Potts plays it in, and it's up towards the right-hand upright, and it's claimed by Stephen Drench. And Drench clears immediately upfield. Headed away. by the captain Hughes, picked up now by Andy Holdsworth. The home side being urged on by the fans to attack this Stalybridge Celtic defence. Ollie Johnson spins on the ball. He's got players around him, has to do more than good footwork to get past that number of players, and then a heavy challenge comes in from Nicky Boschel on Potts, and the card is immediately out. The yellow in the hands of the referee almost before it goes any further, and Potts will be okay. Nicky Boschel will be the first yellow card this afternoon. It was a clumsy tackle. I don't think you can argue with that one.
Definitely a yellow card there, because it's just one of them. The ball's gone, and Boschel, maybe a little bit of frustration going in as well. Clumsy tackle. Referee, I feel, did well there, though, because 5 or 6 Stalybridge players ran to him, trying to maybe influence him, and he got the card out immediately, just saying, look, I've made my decision. There's no way you're going to influence me on this. Gives the yellow card. It's a clear yellow, and I think it'll be a yellow card with a word in the ear as well of, if you do that again, you're definitely going off.
He was right on top of it there, referee. It was a good piece of officiating, if you ask me. Stopped any potential situation building up. Welling 1, Eastleigh 1. So an equaliser for Welling. Huddersfield 2, Ipswich 0. And Hyde have conceded 2 goals to Bradford Park Avenue. So Hyde 0, Bradford Park Avenue 2. Remember, next Saturday we travel to the Horsefall Stadium. Danny Boschel goes in for a challenge here with Michael Potts, and Danny Boschel will get the book. And that time, I'm not quite so convinced that one's a yellow card. I think that was a shout from the stands, really, rather than the actual offence being a yellow card decision. But it has been given this time by the referee. And now, Guiseley have to defend a free kick again. And it's all sort of going in Stalybridge's favour this half. Guiseley trail by a 1-0. They've been in great form since Liam Watson's taken over. And here is a chance for Chippendale to deliver once again into the penalty area. There's a man free. It was Matthew Hughes, the captain, but he couldn't get on the end of the ball. On the edge of the 6-yard box, he was in acres of space, but the ball bounced over him. Unfortunately, gone behind for a goal kick. But at the moment, Guiseley are struggling to cope in the recent passages of play with what Stalybridge Celtic are offering.
Just there, that was a free header, and if he'd been able to control it just a little bit better, he really would. It'd be 2-0, quite simple as that. He just couldn't turn his body the right way to get the necessary contact. But it's scary when guys are giving, a free header to someone in the area from about 6 yards out. Guys who really do need to improve for the rest of this game.
Jake Lawler now with the ball for the Lions, looking for options ahead of him. He's frustrated, he can't pick out the pass. Adam Boyce comes short, claims it just inside the Stalybridge half. He has to give it back to Jake Lawler, and then there's a poor touch between Lawler and Holdsworth, and Guiseley almost playing themselves in trouble, and Sim closes down Holdsworth, who was just enough on the ball to get it to Danny Hall. At the moment, Guiseley just don't know where to play this ball. It's gone down the left-hand side towards Danny Lowe, who's made a good run, and now it's knocked out for a Guiseley throw. It's taken backwards towards Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby collects back here to Danny Hall. Hall plays it back to Jake Lawler. It's not the best ball. Sim just doesn't give anything up. He's chasing everything down. And it forces Lawler to go back to Stephen Drench. His clearance nodded back in play by Danny Lowe, and now picked up here by Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby down the left flank to Lowe. Lowe looks for the cross. Can't get it because he's got Wiley ahead of him. And Lowe holds it up. And the ball goes back to Holdsworth. Now with Danny Boschel. Danny Boschel into Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson, 25 yards from goal. Little bit of a run on the ball. Gets into the penalty area. Super run from Ollie Johnson down to the byline. Drills it across. Good save from the goalkeeper. Palms it away. And Stalybridge clear. But a bit of individual brilliance there from Ollie Johnson. Carved out some space. And in the end, it's returned all the way back to Stephen Drench. And that opportunity passes. Guiseley again will pick up the ball and start this patient build-up. In fact, it goes long from Andy Holdsworth, and it's not the ball he would have hoped for. Ollie Johnson looks frustrated. It goes over him. Ryan Tulson was the intended target, but it was well away from him, and it's back with the goalkeeper, Ross Etheridge. Well,
just looking at that chance for Ollie Johnson there, it's one of them where he's trying to get just he's hoping basically that there's a deflection and it can go in because it wasn't on target. The keeper did well, he read it well, was able to get two hands on it, but already you can see a bit of frustration within Guiseley that they're behind because they really shouldn't be. They've had the chances to get a goal at the very least, and they conceded a goal where, you know, it's more of a counter than anything, and they'll feel aggrieved that they are behind.
Well, there was a fair challenge from Andy Holdsworth on Chippendale, but he took a little bit of umbrage at it, resulting in a free kick to Guiseley. Now Ollie Johnson gets the ball on the halfway line from the quick free kick. He's got several players around him. He tries to run through two of them, and Madimbu, and I think it was Regan did enough to get him out of it. And then Jake Lawler takes a little nudge in the back as he goes to head the ball against Sim. And Sim gets away with that one, and Guiseley have a throw in, and Stalybridge rather have a throw in. And Jake Lawler's not happy with that at all, and I have to agree with him on that occasion. Stalybridge just taking the pace out of the game now. Throw in for the visitors on this left-hand side. Plays it here to Chippendale. He's tackled this time by Nicky Boschel. Nicky Boschel now plays it to the halfway line, well away from Ollie Johnson, who seems to be limping a little bit there.
He is.
And the ball's played long and back with Stephen Drench. Have you seen what's happened there, Tom?
Well, it just looks like when he was running he just pulled up a little bit, and well, he gave a look to the bench. I know Mark Bauer's already just given him a look. He seems to be all right now. He's run it off maybe, but I think with the amount of injuries Ollie's had, whenever he feels just a little niggle, he gets maybe a little bit concerned. He's just testing it out now, making sure that he's all right. He gave a look to the bench though, and it's one of them. We might in a couple of minutes see a sub, hopefully not.
Ball with Jake Lawler now towards Ollie Johnson. Regan does well to clear, and then it's out into the stand for a Guiseley throw. Ryan Toulson looks for options. It's a bit static. Nobody's in the right place really for the throw. Toulson goes down the line, looks for Adam Boyes. Boyes wins it, plays a nice ball in here to Nicky Boschel. Boschel tries to nutmeg his player and can't do so, but does get the ball in field to his brother Danny before Guiseley lose possession very poorly, and now it's two players clear on goal. Ben McKenna down the right hand side. If he can play it across to Sim, he's got Sim in space. He finds him. Oh, how has Sim managed to miss that? How on earth has he managed to miss that? The ball drilled across from McKenna. Sim inside the 6-yard box. Skies the ball over. That should have been 2-0. Somehow, well, that was an incredible miss.
Miss of the season right there. Chris Sim, I don't think he's 2 yards out. I think he's a yard out. It's a tap in. Steve Drench is just looking, basically thinking, right, it's a goal. Sorry, we've conceded a second. And I think he must have hit the bar. It must have hit the bar and gone out, because there's no way that's not hit the bar and gone out. I can't believe it. I'm actually going to try and find it on this replay, because it's one of them. I'm rubbing my eyes. I can't believe he's missed.
But still, the ball with Stalybridge. The point being as well, actually returning to the more important point really, which is how did we lose possession on the halfway line to allow Ben McKenna in the first place?
Yeah, and you know, Danny Lowe there, it's a loose pass. Just having a look at it now, and yeah, he's hit the crossbar. It's hit the crossbar and it's gone out. But you know, Danny Lowe there, he's trying to get it back to get it forward. And there's just no communication, and Lowe is basically passed it straight to Stalybridge. And Chris Sim there, who I've got to say, he's probably been their best player. What a mess.
Well, it could be expensive, but Guiseley have still let Sim. He's just broken through between the two defenders. Danny Hall has clipped him. Hall will be sent off. Guiseley down to 10 men. And this is a disaster for the Lions. An absolute disaster. Sim was between the two. He was played through. He charged towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Danny Hall was behind him. Sim went down. And I'm not sure if there's any contact, but I tell you what, I think the referee was very quickly out. The linesman flagged for it. This is a very, very tough afternoon now.
It definitely is. I mean, in a couple of moments I'll be able to tell you if there was any contact. Looking at Danny Hall's reaction, he's clearly in shock that the red card's been given. But it's one of them, the moment the free kick's given, it has to be a red card as he's the last man. But yet again, the room that Sim was able to find in between two centre-backs is quite honestly, it's shocking. that he's been able to find the room, and now for Guiseley, they've got a very difficult free kick to contest.
Free kick now for Stalybridge on the edge of the D, playing 10 men now, Guiseley. The Guiseley are playing with 10 men now. Free kick, 41 minutes gone. Trailing by a goal to nil, the Lions now face a free kick here from Potts on the edge of the D. He drills it in. It hits the underside of the crossbar and bounces back down on the line. Still not cleared, offside against Sim. He puts the ball in the back of the net this time, but that won't count. Guiseley are at 6s and 7s, all at sea here. And at the moment, it's hard to see a way back in this game. 1-0 down, but now playing with 10 men. And Stalybridge, well, they look a completely different proposition to the side we faced earlier on this season.
Well, that's just how football goes sometimes. Guiseley there, they've really, Stalybridge, you've got to say, they should be 3-0 up. They've had two massive chances there. One hit the crossbar, one hits the post. And for Guiseley now, they've got to try and just do something going into this half-time, because if they don't, Stalybridge are going to be going in at half-time with so much confidence, because you've got to say the last 10 minutes they've bossed it. And now Guiseley down to 10 men, they're going to have to take more chances.
Oh, and just not dealing with the runs here of Sim, and he picks up the loose ball again, plays it in here to Potts. Potts attacking towards the goal, plays it back to the left-hand side. Sim back here to Chippendale, the scorer of the only goal. Chippendale gets the ball into the area. It's cleared by Danny Lowe, who's now playing centre-half. Andy Holdsworth playing at left-back, and Ryan Tilson still at right-back.
Well, and you know, the worrying thing is, Chris Sim is playing basically against the four Guiseley defenders when there were four defenders, and he was finding so much room, so much time, and now they're down to 3, he's going to have even more room and time, and it's just scary how this is happening.
And now it's Chippendale has won the ball again on the byline, a great header, the ball bounces off the upright again, this time as a free kick and an offside flag, but it was a header from Ben McKenna. And Guiseley have got away again. The upright has been hit, the crossbar has been hit on 3 occasions, the woodwork's been hit on 3 occasions. Guiseley down to 10 men. They are 1-0 down. They're at 6s and 7s with Danny Hall sent off. Hard to see a way back at the moment.
Well, it is if we continue playing the way we are, because it's quite simply is not good enough. You know, just that instance there, the ball, it looks like it might be going out, and Nicky Boschel stops his run, he lets Chippendale keep it in, and then he gets that crossing. You should be dealing with that, getting it out of play at the very least. And now for Guiseley, they've just got to take a couple more chances, I feel, because they're trying to be a little bit reserved, going in 1-0 at half-time, and it simply is not working. And you know, you've got the likes of Nicky Boschel, who seems to be playing in a defensive role at times during the last few minutes. So for Guiseley now, they've got to get it forward, get it to Ollie, get it to Adam, and just try and do something with it, because if they don't, Stalybridge, not only are they going to get the 3 points, they're going to have a couple more goals as well to boot.
Well, the ball into the Stalybridge half. Ryan Tilson caught very late there from Michael Potts. Referee's not given anything there. I'm really surprised. Tilson's still on the ground. And it's fallen back here to Danny Lowe. Danny Lowe plays it forward. Ryan Tilson still on the ground. It has to go out of play. How did the referee not give that as a free kick? I'm surprised at that. I mean, he caught him late.
It's you know, the referee's about a yard away. There's no way he did not see that. And immediately he just went no. Immediately. And I can't believe he's not given a free kick there. It's one of them as well where you look at Michael Potts' reaction. He basically goes in apologising afterwards, and the referee's basically just completely ignored that. And, well, it seems to be one of them halves. It really does.
Days, isn't it? But we are where we are. 1-0 down. 10 men on the field. And it's a tough afternoon here for the Lions as we approach the break. Just whatever the board will go up. I haven't seen actually any additional time yet, Tom. Just a couple of quick latest scores in the Vanarama Conference whilst Ryan Tilson gets some attention. Woking 1, Dover 0. Gateshead 1, Altrincham 0. Stockport County 0, Oxford City 1 in the Vanarama Conference North. FC United have taken the lead against Curzon-Ashton. A huge game in the division below. FC United looking to secure the title soon as they take on one of their nearer rivals and ground share teams, Curzon-Ashton. So 1-0 there. So they could be playing us next season. Looking increasingly like it. Harrogate Town 2, North Ferriby United 0. Macclesfield 1, Wrexham 1. And Leamington have scored. They've taken the lead against Lowestoft. A big game at the bottom there. Boston United also have taken the lead against Tamworth in the big one in the playoff challenge. And in the end, there's a free kick as we're back underway here to Guiseley. An offside decision against Sim. Southport 0, Telford 1. And Bradford Park Avenue have got a third against Hyde. Referee calls time on that half. And what a half. I can't imagine a half going worse from our perspective than it has done. Thankful for the woodwork in the first 45 minutes. It was a goal from Aidan Chippenham that got Stalybridge Celtic on their way on 25 minutes, but then on 40, Danny Hall was sent off. Clipping Chris Sim was the decision that Tom Neal decided. Hall's seen a straight red. The free kick was hit the crossbar by Michael Potts. Sim has missed an absolute sitter inside the 6-yard box, and McKenna has also hit the woodwork. It's all Stalybridge's way this first 45 minutes. It's Guiseley 0, Stalybridge 1.
Well, I can't believe that. We're going in 1-0 down and feeling like we're very lucky that we're going in only 1-0 down, because Stalybridge have had 3 massive opportunities apart from the goal that they should have scored. Michael Potts' free kick was a fantastic effort, and Drench was beaten. Chris Sims missed from a yard out. They've hit the post as well through McKenna when again Drench looked beaten. So the guys that they've got to improve, they've got to change a couple of things. In my opinion, it's time for Liam Dickinson to be brought on. I think they need to bring someone on who can hold the ball up a little bit better and just take the pressure off the defence, because at the moment they're trying to get it forward every time, and Stalybridge are more than happy to just counter every time. And when they do that, every time over the last 15 minutes, they've been creating chances. So you've got to say at half-time, 1-0 down Guiseley might be, but they're lucky to only be a goal down, and it's rare that at home you say that. So for Guiseley, a lot of work needs to be done during that second half.
Yeah, it's hard to see the positives, isn't it, at the moment? Let's just give you some of the half-time scores of the games that we've been following. In the Championship, Huddersfield 2, Ipswich 0. Bradford City 0. Preston 0, Bradford City down to 10 men in that game. Oxford United 0, York 0 in the bottom of League 2. Vanarama Conference, it finished earlier on, Dartford 0, Barnet 1. So Barnet open up a bit of a gap, although played a game extra than both Bristol Rovers and Grimsby. So the other scores there, Aldershot 1, Torquay United 0. Alfreton 0, Grimsby 0. So Grimsby being held by Alfreton at the moment. Chester 1, Forest Green 3 at half-time. Forest Green, of course, well in those playoffs places. Looking to get into those playoff places, rather. Chester have had a miserable weekend so far. 5-1 defeat to Bristol Rovers on Good Friday, and now losing. They were 3-0 down at one point in the first half of this game. Dover 0, Woking 1, Gateshead 1, Altrincham 0. Bristol Rovers are being held 2-0 at the moment at Kidderminster Harriers. Lincoln City 1, Halifax 0. Macclesfield 1, Wrexham 1. Nuneaton 0, Braintree 0. Southport 0, Telford 1. Telford already doomed. Steve Kittrick will be taking his side back here next season if Guiseley don't go up. Welling 1, Eastleigh 1 as well. So the Vanarama Conference North. And these are where the important scores are. Boston United 1, Tamworth 0 at half-time. Chorley 0, Barrow 0. Fylde 4, Colwyn Bay 1. Gainsborough 0, Gloucester City 1. Guiseley 0, Stalybridge Celtic 1. Harrogate 2, North Ferriby United 0. Hyde 0, Bradford Park Avenue 3. Leamington 1, Lowestoft 0. Solihull 0, Hensford 0. And Stockport 1, Oxford City 1. So a late equaliser there for Stockport. In terms of the table at the moment, if the scores were to stand as they were, Guiseley would be in 5th place at the end of play, falling a place behind Boston, and would just be 3 points between us and Tamworth for that final place. So it would be a real scrape across the line if this happens to be the final result this afternoon, and all the other results stay as they are, of course. It would be it'd be a hugely disappointing result. Tamworth at the moment, of course, losing 1-0. That's a game in our favour, because Boston are in 4th place if they win that game, because of the way that the fixtures lie. Boston play Tamworth today. At the bottom, Stalybridge would be out of the bottom 3. They would be in 19th place. Colwyn Bay, 4-1 down at the moment at Fylde, would be into the bottom 3 once again. Brackley also in there, of course, on 37. Hyde, of course, rock bottom 3-0 down at home to Bradford Park Avenue on 20. So that's where we are. We're going to take a break now for 10 minutes or so, and we're back for the second half coverage. Hopefully things can only get better. if anything comes out of this, it'd be a bloody miracle, frankly. Well, welcome back here to Guiseley AFC Radio, where second half is a short while away. The players are just returning to the field. We've had a rather despondent half-time brew, and I must admit we're not feeling particularly confident, it has to be said. The scoreline here, Guiseley trailing by a goal to nil. Aidan Chippendale scored it on 25, but the visitors hit the woodwork on 3 occasions, and Guiseley have been reduced to 10 men, with Danny Hall being sent off. So, Mark Bauer has decided to change things, and Nicky Boschel will come off, who received a yellow card in that first half, and Liam Dickinson makes his return since his suspension kicked in, and will play against his old side. And that's the first change of the game. Guys, you do need to do something pretty special, don't they, Tom, to turn this around?
Yeah, just, you know, what an incredible first half that was for Stalybridge, and the chances that they kept creating for guys that they've got to change it. They've got to change tact, because if they don't, Stalybridge quite simply were pulling Guiseley apart left, right and centre during that last 10 minutes especially. So for Guiseley, they've got to change it. They've got to try and be a little bit different. You look at Liam Dickinson coming on for Nicky Boschel. It's a good move because Nicky was on a yellow card and he looked like he'd already been given that talking to basically one more and you're off. Dickinson, it looks like he'll be playing in defence for now, and then he can push forward for corners, etc. But for Guiseley, they've got to improve, and they've got to improve big time, because if they don't, quite simply, Stalybridge are going to be leaving with 3 points, and they're going to have earned their 3 points. They'll deserve it.
Goal kick taken by Stephen Drench as we get back underway. Liam Dickinson in that new back 4 lineup, allowing Danny Lowe to return to left back. Dickinson shanks his clearance, and that gives a chance for Potts to capitalise. But Ryan Toulson is alive to the danger, plays it back to Stephen Drench. It's now down the left-hand flank as Stalybridge start where they left off, finds him on the edge of the 18-yard box. Back it goes, back into the area. There's a bit of space to work in there for Potts, but he can't get the header up against Jake Lawler. And Guiseley clear. Stephen Drench sends it long, up towards Adam Boys. Headed out by the captain, Hughes. And Guiseley have a throw inside the Stalybridge half.
Well, already within about 40 seconds, Michael Potts there with a half decent chance. If he'd been able to get a little flick on, he'd have beaten Drench, because Drench had come out. The communication with him and Lawler just wasn't there at that point. And for Guiseley, it really is a case that they need to improve. They need to get forward. They need to put Stalybridge under pressure, because just now they're finding it so easy.
Well, the throw comes in, it bounces over Adam Boys, and it's defended well and comfortably, as Tom alludes to, really. And then a 1-2 between Andy Holdsworth and Ryan Toulson almost allows the ball to be intercepted again by Chippendale. And Chippendale been very impressive, hasn't he, in this game? He's been a real thorn in the side.
Yeah, I think he's done very well alongside the rest of the Stalybridge attack. And I think when you look at Liam Watson and the impact he has on a team, that is why he is so good at this level. He gets his players just putting the defence under so much pressure. He gets his players to make the other side make mistakes. And that's what's happened today throughout. And Aidan Chippendale, you've got to say, he took his goal fantastically. A really good effort, and really he'll feel like, alongside the rest of the attacking line, they all should have had a goal in that first half, because they all had chances to. And for Guiseley, I keep saying it, we've got to change tactics, because if we don't, they're just finding it so easy.
Brooksby gets the ball out to Danny Boschel now on the right-hand side. The first delivery of a ball into a penalty area for a while, and it's cleared. Guiseley have a throw on the right-hand side. Now a little bit more purpose there, just for a moment. Wayne Brooksby saw sight of a run, played it out to the right-hand side where Danny Boschel was there. His cross cleared, but Guiseley can launch this one into the area. Ryan Toulson will take the long throw. There's no sign of Lawler or Dickinson coming forward for this. So Toulson launches this one into the area. Up towards Ollie Johnson, headed away by Galinski with ease. Back here to Toulson. He's up against the Chippendale, the goal scorer. And in the end, Chippendale manages to not only intercept, but also win the throw off Toulson.
Well, just before that throw was taken, Liam Dickinson made a burst forward. It looked like he was going to go into the area, and he was instructed not to stay back. And you know, you look at the fact that Dickinson's a good couple of inches bigger than all the other all the Stalybridge players. I think it just makes sense to throw him into the area for these throws, for these corners, because you just never know. If he's able to get, if the ball's found to him, he's got a big advantage.
Cross comes in from Guiseley's perspective from a throw, but it's way over Ollie Johnson, comfortably cleared. Up to the halfway line, Jake Lawler's got a battle on up against Sim. And now with Potts, Lawler wins the ball off Potts, gets the ball into Ollie Johnson. Well, Ollie Johnson's got three around him immediately, and he's pushed off the ball by Peter Wiley. Unnecessary free kick given against Wiley, and Wiley's going to go in the book for trouble. He pushed Ollie Johnson right at the touchline, and Ollie Johnson has a little smile on his face. I think he's quite pleased with his work in that incident.
I think it's one of them. Fantastic play, first of all, by Jake Lawler. Johnson there, he's going nowhere. The ball's going out for a throw, and he's just pushed to the floor. Referee gives it, and it's a soft free kick, but it is a free kick.
Free kick now for Guiseley. Some way from goal. Daniel Lowe will play this towards the edge of the 18-yard box. 49 minutes gone. Up towards the back post where Liam Dickinson has taken up a position. Well, way back post, and Liam Dickinson's easily robbed by Regan. Regan plays it up towards the halfway line. Toulson does well, takes it away from Regan. Then Brooksby with a loose touch, gives the ball back to Potts. Potts finds Sim. Sim on the left-hand side. He's got McKenna in if he can find him. Potts continues into the area. Potts, bit of trickery from Potts, takes it round Holdsworth, gets it back here. And then there's a shot from distance, and a strike is put in the back of the net by Alec Madimu. And Guiseley are undone. And they're undone again of their own making. It was a swift counter-attack and very well worked from Stalybridge Celtic, but you have to ask the questions when we are losing the ball in midfield so easily. We are gifting this Stalybridge side chance after chance in this game.
And you know what's so frustrating with that? First of all, fantastic effort there by Madimu. Great goal, and all the credit to him. But there are 5 Stalybridge Celtic players there waiting for the ball to come in. And there's just so much time, there's so much space, it's scary. And that all came from Liam Dickinson being robbed of the ball really cheaply. And for Guiseley now, they've got it all to do. They're going to have to take more risks, because, you know, this could be one of them, though, where we actually go and concede 5 or 6, because, you know, the argument is there that Stalybridge on another day would be 5-0 up. They've had the chances, and Guiseley just keep giving the ball away.
Well, header back here from Daniel O to Stephen Drench. Hard to see the positives in this game at the moment. Clearance from Drench, headed away. Andy Holdsworth battling up against Potts, who's won and been a real terrier in midfield. Won a lot of ball. Now Regan, left back, plays it upfield. Intercepted by Dickinson, who takes a second touch and then plays a really aimless ball forward. Way over Ollie Johnson. And then that's comfortable for Wiley to recover. Big goals in the Vanarama Conference for Bristol Rovers. They've taken the lead against Kidderminster Harriers. They need to win, of course, to keep in touch with Barnet at the top of that three-way triangle of teams. The Grimsby, Barnet and Bristol Rovers all vying for automatic. Andy Holdsworth on the ball now. Finds Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson with 3 around him. Takes a wrap on the ankles. The referee will give the decision.
Good play there by the ref there. Just waited to see if there was an advantage, saw there wasn't, and you know what, this is Andy Holdsworth territory.
Needs to be. 52 minutes gone. There's going to be a substitute. Guys are making their second change. Wayne Brooksby's coming off. And Gavin Rothery will return, which is great to see Gavin Rothery come back. I just wonder whether Wayne Brooksby's got a niggle. Well,
Wayne Brooksby, I know beforehand because I saw it, he had quite an extensive workout to see if he was all right with, I believe it's his left knee, if he was all right playing on it, and in the end he passed that test, but just one of them, maybe he was feeling the effect, and just when he sat down, immediately they seem to have put an ice pack on his knee, so it looks like it is a niggle, because, you know, he's not done bad today, Brooksby, so again, it had to be something along them lines for him to go off.
day gets from bad to worse, doesn't it? 2-0 down, playing with 10 men. Being played off the park, actually, by Stalybridge Celtic, who are in the bottom 3. Holdsworth floats a free kick into the area, up towards Liam Dickinson. He battles for it, but won't win it. Jake Lawler does well. Plays it back here to Danny Boschel, but it's all back to goal stuff from Guiseley at the moment. Back here to Gavin Rothery, his first touch. Straight into Michael Potts, who handles it. And Guiseley have a free kick. It's on the left-hand side here, some distance from goal. Sorry, go on, Tom.
Potts was not happy about that. He shouted at the referee, that's never a handball. And now just maybe that little bit of luck. I didn't see whether it was a free kick or not, but just that bit of luck. Now Andy Holdsworth, you've got the likes of Dickinson in the area. Just get it in, see what happens.
Free kick to come in from this left-hand side from Andy Holdsworth. He's got 5 to aim for in the box. It goes up towards Liam Dickinson. Doesn't get there. Played away by Regan. Up towards Sim. Sim now controls it on the chest up against Ryan Tilson, who's had an awful lot of work to do. Boys attempts to win the ball back against Regan. Regan makes a firm clearance, and that follows all the way out of play for a Guiseley goal kick.
Well, just that free kick there when it's delivered, it looked like that was Liam Dickinson's ball to win, and it just for some reason he seemed to just hold back for a second and then went for it. And in that time, Stalybridge had got their defence in order, but you know, that's one of them. You've just got to go for it, and it looks like Dickinson has actually now been put forward as a centre forward, so it's now a 3-person attack with Gavin Rothery in midfield.
A bit of a scrapping around the centre circle there resulted in Danny Boschel clearing the ball upfield, and then it being returned immediately. Potts chesting it down, a long one that was cleared by Stephen Drench outside of his penalty area, picked up now on the left-hand side by Chippendale. Throw-in given. A couple of other scorelines in this division. Fylde now 5-2 up against Colwyn Bay. Gloucester City 2-0 win, leading 2-0 now at Gainsborough Trinity.
Nice low-scoring game at Fylde then.
It's usually Oxford City we're reporting on with these sort of scorelines, isn't it, this season? Forest Green, meanwhile, are 4-1 up now against Chester. That's 9 goals Chester have shipped over this weekend, thus far. The ball into the area. It's helped away by Stephen Drenchow. Tries to release Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson doesn't get near enough to the ball as it sort of bounces away and kindly for Hughes. It's going to take something special for Guiseley to get out of the hole that they've dug themselves into this afternoon. Stephen Drench plays a long one up. Hughes heads it up to the halfway line. Gavin Rothery up against Potts, doesn't win that one. Rothery challenges the ball, wins it back, gives it to Boschel. Boschel harried by Potts. Can't get there. Guiseley clear. Up towards Liam Dickinson, who's up against Galinski. Wins the header. Ollie Johnson just misses it out against Hughes. And it's away. And Guiseley win again with Jake Lawler. Up here to Ollie Johnson. Defended by Wiley. And then played long. And Ryan Toulson has to be brought in to work hard to get the ball away. And then Andy Holdsworth completes the clearance up against Chippendale. Adam Boys wins a free kick for Guiseley on the halfway line. Takes it quickly, gives it to Danny Boschel. Guiseley need to get some players forward. Danny Boschel over the halfway line. Into Danny Lowe on the left-hand side. He's got his back to goal. He's been well shepherded away from the danger area. Plays a good ball into Gavin Rothery. Rothery works well to win the ball back after losing it with the first touch. Plays it out here to Lowe. Lowe on the edge of the 18-yard box. Cross towards the back post. Dickinson goes for it. Goalkeeper claims it brilliantly. Ross Etheridge, who's been excellent this afternoon. Former Derby County youth player, and he's shown his quality on several occasions, but certainly his command of the box, and his command on that occasion was excellent. Liam Dickinson left with little hope of getting on the end of that one.
Well, the communication there and the leap by the goalkeeper was brilliant. He yelled, "This is mine," and jumped, a big jump as well, made sure Dickinson wasn't able to get there. And, you know, that gives your defence so much confidence when that ball is being whipped in, and you know your keeper's going to be getting that every time, because so far today that's what's happened. Every time the ball's in, he's been getting something on it, and again, then he's able to clear it, and Stalybridge in the end get a free kick.
Yeah, clearance, and Ryan Toulson, who's now playing centre half, he was pushing the back, has pushed his man in the back, and the free kick's being given to Stalybridge. They float it into the area. Shot comes in from distance. It's taken a wild effort that sends it behind for a goal kick. And in the end, Guiseley will have a goal kick clearance here.
It takes everything now.
And it'll be a goal kick here for the Lions. So just as the guys keep doing their contributions for the Overgate Hospice in Elland. I was just hoping to stick a few coins in there as they came by, and they ignored me. I got blanked. Can't even give my money away nowadays. Guys, meanwhile, just try to flick the ball on there, and it's back with the goalkeeper, Ross Etheridge.
Well, just talking about Overgate Hospice in Elland, fantastic cause it is, and a lot of coins being put in buckets, and quite rightly so, for such a fantastic cause.
The ball cleared from Guiseley with Andy Holdsworth, who's at right back. We'll have to go through this formation in a moment, Tom, because I don't think we've really kept everyone up to date. It's up to speed because it's changed that much. But Stalybridge, meanwhile, are coming on the attack down the left-hand side. That time, a poor ball from Chippendale behind for a goal kick. Quite a few goals in the Macclesfield-Wrexham tie. Macclesfield, of course, cementing their place in the playoffs. They were leading, but now it's Macclesfield 2, Wrexham 2. Tom was doing his stuff last weekend for North Ferriby United, weren't you, at Wembley?
Yeah, a fantastic day it was, and thank you to the North Ferriby fans. Now I'm saying this on the enemy territory, but thank you to the North Ferriby fans for their hospitality during that game. And, you know, talking about Wrexham, their manager afterwards was asked, do you think you'll be here next season? He wouldn't comment. Less than 24 hours later, he was sacked. So I think maybe that was definitely the final nail in the coffin. But, you know, in terms of guys in that formation, the reason why we haven't been able to keep people updated with what it is it's changed now 5 times during today's game. So Mark just trying different things, hoping something will work. And so what you have got is you've got Adam Boyes, Liam Dickinson and Ollie Johnson basically playing as 3 men all up front. You've got Gavin Rothery and Danny Boschel as the 2 midfielders. You've then got Jake Lawler and Ryan Toulson at centre-back, with Danny Lowe and Andy Holdsworth in the full-back positions, and obviously Steve Drench in net. So that's how it is right now. But from time to time, you know, it's already changed twice during the second half, with Liam Dickinson actually being pushed forward now. So Dickinson can play on his own or play in that free. So it will change again before the end of the game. I can pretty much guarantee you that. But for Guiseley, they've got to try and change it to something that works.
Now Stalybridge come down the left-hand chippendale even. In the attacking foray, blocked well by Holdsworth. It's at the expense of a throw-in just up from the corner flag. With the Lions now deep in defensive duty once again. 60 minutes gone in this game, 2-0 to Stalybridge. Potts on the ball, loses out but does win the corner. And the visiting fans are enjoying their day at the moment as they watch their side dominate, guys. You know, so many times in recent years we've got the result against Stalybridge Celtic. It's been a bit of a grudge match. They'll be enjoying this. And we've been somewhat of a bogey side for them. Well, not today. Corner now with the Stalybridge Celtic leading 2-0 into the area. Headed away by Jake Lawler, behind for a goal kick. 10 men, guys, are playing with. And to be honest, it's a pretty difficult task to see how the Lions are going to change this game round. I don't think we've really registered a goal since going down, a shot on goal since going down to 10 that I can think of. Ball up from Drench, up towards Liam Dickinson. Ollie Johnson wins the ball, plays it to the right-hand side. Gavin Rothery, now up by the touchline. He's got Mudimu up against him. Rothery comes in field, plays it into the area with the left foot, up towards Adam Boyes, the best chance of the game for guys so far in the second half. Adam Boyes was he leapt up to try and meet the ball, but he was coming down when he actually connected with it, and it's gone behind harmlessly for a goal kick.
It's one of them though. Just that's the first time that Liam Dickinson's been able to just deliver a little flick. Then the chance creates. Adam Boyes though, you know, it's one of them. The ball's whipped in. He's got 2 defenders around him. A lot of pressure on him. He gets something on it, but it was never going on target.
Well, at the moment, Guiseley will have won 1 and lost 1 in this bank holiday weekend. Stalybridge Celtic come down the right-hand side again. McKenna working well, gives the ball here to Wiley. His cross towards the back post is pretty off target. And Guiseley win a goal kick. And I think there's going to be a referee conversation between him and Gavin Rothery now. I'm not quite sure what for. So Andy Holdsworth being called off to speak to the referee and Gavin Rothery.
Right, so what he wants is the captain to be there to talk to Andy Holdsworth, but obviously it's aimed at Gavin Rothery. I don't know what's been said, but they were having a conversation, and pretty much immediately the referee blew the whistle and wanted Andy Holdsworth to talk as well. And Rothery tried to walk away from it. The referee didn't like that, and the Stalybridge Celtic fans are booing. They wanted a card shown, but I'm really not sure what's been said there. But
he's obviously said something, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's the long and the short of it. 63 minutes gone. Guiseley trailing by 2-0 at home to Stalybridge Celtic. Gavin Rothery on the right-hand side. He's been spoken to by the referee. Now plays a good ball into the area. Goalkeeper fumbles it for the first time, but claims it the second attempt. It's a strange sort of fumble. He wasn't under any pressure from Liam Dickinson. Never really looked like he was going to get on the end of it.
what makes that more frustrating, though, is if the gamble had been taken there, if the gamble had been made.
And the referee has now blown up for a challenge that Gavin Rothery's made inside the centre circle. He did lunge at the ball, he got the ball, but now they're complaining that it was a foul. Not convinced by that actually as a foul.
I thought he got the ball.
And I think he's got the ball, and the referee has responded to the reaction of the players, and I think he's going to book Gavin Rothery here. Not even convinced that's a free kick.
I think it's one of them, though, where he's just spoken to him. So he'll see it now. The free kick's being given. He's probably told
There's nothing wrong with the player on the ground, is there?
No.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with him.
No, and tell you this, though, he got all of the ball. He did not. I mean, Rothery's reenacting this now and saying, look, I got the ball. He clearly got the ball. I'm looking at the replay here, and it just got the ball. Clearly got the ball. He actually got both feet on the ball somehow. And I just think it's one of them where Gavin Rothery, the frustration he had 2 minutes ago is probably multiplied by about 50 now, because, you know, he's been booked there for getting the ball, and the referee there, you know, you just want some consistency, and the referee there didn't show it.
Well, not surprisingly, Madimbu's up and fine. A little limp for the cameras, but there's nothing particularly, I think, in the challenge that hurt him. So Guiseley will concede the free kick. Gavin Rothery's on the yellow card. And that goal for Wrexham actually didn't count, so it's still 2-1 to Macclesfield. Southport 0, Telford 3. So now they're relegated. They're playing with some freedom. Steve Kittrick's side there, leading 3-0. And there's been an equaliser for Curzon Ashton in that big game in the Evo Stick Premier, where Curzon Ashton have got level against FC United. And Grimsby have scored in the conference to lead 1-0 against Alfreton. This free kick's delivered into the penalty area. Comfortable for Stephen Drench. Solihull Moors 1, Hensford 0. That's a little positive scoreline, but Hensford seem to be off the mark now anyway for the playoffs. Still, things could change in the remaining 4 games or so. Guiseley win the ball on the halfway line here with Andy Holdsworth. Plays it up field, chested down by Liam Dickinson. Ollie Johnson, some distance from goal, too many players around him. Goes back to Danny Boschel. Gavin Rothery on the halfway line now, forced back as Stalybridge defend. Danny Lowe goes all the way back. Still, McKenna keeps running. Drench is forced into a clearance that doesn't give him as much chance to find his man. Potts wins it. Adam Boyes works hard to get the ball back, and it's now out to the right-hand side. Andy Holdsworth up against Chippendale. Plays it infield to Liam Dickinson. Dickinson, square. It's a poor ball. Cut out. Doesn't get to Rothery. Picked up now by Lowe. Home side getting very frustrated. The home fans getting very frustrated. Guiseley, at the moment, not showing any real threat here. Played long by Toulson. Up towards Boyes. Headed away by Sim. Picked up here by Lowe. Played into the area. Bounces around, ricochets around in the penalty area. Nobody gets onto it. Gavin Rothery with a strike just past the upright. Best chance of the second half, that one. Best strike of the second half. Most purposeful movement from Guiseley since the header that Adam Boyes didn't really make a good connection with that time. Gavin Rothery for a shot from distance past the upright, behind for a goal kick.
Good effort there by Rovery. It's set up all right for him, but I just think it's one of them where you're wanting one of your strikers to have an effort inside the penalty area. Adam Boyes in the end feeds it to Rovery, who's outside the area, 2 men round him, a lot of pressure, gets a good shot away, but always going off target.
Boschel wins the ball for guys inside his own half, plays it up towards Ollie Johnson. Lot of work for Ollie Johnson to do to just keep hold of this ball. Up against 2 players. Good skill to give it in field to Gavin Rothery. Now to Ryan Toulson. They're now centre half, plays it long, up towards Liam Dickinson. Doesn't go for it. Goalkeeper claims it. Very disappointing end to that move as well. And it's comfortable for the goalkeeper, Ross Etheridge.
I just don't get that why Dickinson didn't just jump for it and put the keeper under a bit of pressure, because he found that really easy, the keeper. And remember, the last time a cross was delivered, he actually fumbled it. So it's just one of them. You just want to keep the keeper guessing, really, put him under some pressure. There, he found that really simple.
Ball goes over the top. Liam Dickinson's the man to chase it. It's blocked by Galinski. Galinski tumbles as Dickinson's large frame overpowered him for a moment, but there was no threat that he was ever going to get to the ball ahead of the goalkeeper. It's upfield, flicked on by Jake Lawler. So surely a free kick on Jake Lawler there, because Sim was backing into him. Shouts from the other end, at the other end of the field. Guisey try to win the ball back here. It's down the left-hand side. Clearance comes in from Ryan Toulson. Goes out of touch. It's a throw-in. Stalybridge Celtic on the halfway line. Lead here 2-0. 20 minutes to go, give or take. Guisey down to 10. They could have had more. Stalybridge Celtic as well. They hit the woodwork on 3 separate occasions in the first half. Guisey have had very little to offer in response.
And, like you were saying, the amount of times guys have been seen as the bogey team for Stalybridge. Today, you've just got to say, Stalybridge, if they do leave with the 3 points based on what's happened right now, they completely deserve it. They've had so many chances, and guys have just been opened up every time, really.
Dickinson, a little flick on from a ball forward. Not directed towards either the other 2 front men. Guisey battle a bit harder here with Gavin Rothery winning a touch in midfield up against Powell, but in the end it's overhit and goes all the way back to Etheridge. And at the moment, Guisey look like a team well beaten. 20 minutes to go as well. 2-0 down, playing with 10 men. Stalybridge play it forward up into the centre circle. And so enough of a tackle comes in from Danny Lowe to take the ball away, but only as far as Wiley, who plays it down the right flank. Gavin Rothery clears straight to Michael Potts, though. Potts drills it in from distance. Not directed on target. Goes behind for a goal kick.
I mean, just looking at this game, though, in terms of how it can define a season, how much confidence will this give Stalybridge that they've gone to one of the sides in the playoffs and dominated pretty much the whole game and deserve to be winning? This can be the game, really, where Liam Watson knows that he has got a side willing to fight, willing to battle, and willing to get the points that are needed to keep them up. And based on this display, you've got to think Stalybridge will be fine come the end of the season. But
now they come forward again here with Chippendale onto the edge of the 18-yard box, gets a shot away, blocked well by Jake Lawler, and then Jake Lawler is bundled over. Referee gives the free kick. Eventually, he could have picked from 2 there, as Stalybridge rather forcefully closing down. 19 minutes to go. Stephen Drench will take this free kick deep inside his own half. Guisey will get the players forward, looking to see if they can snatch a goal back into this game. Up towards Adam Boyes. It falls sort of short of him. He can't get the flick on. Andy Holdsworth sends it to the right-hand side. The wide man in this occasion is Liam Dickinson. He is going backwards. Gives it to Ryan Toulson. He didn't have much choice in that occasion. Ryan Toulson drills it in towards Danny Boschel. Powell's right up him and gets the clearance. The ball goes down the right-hand side. Dickinson has too much to expect of him to chase that ball down, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Just you're going at half-time, a goal down to 10 men. You just want them to come out really be fighting and fired up for it. And you've got to say Stalybridge were the team that were fighting and fired up for that first 10 minutes of the second half. And the moment they got that second goal, that was it really. They're more than happy now to play with the ball and just basically, they've not got any pressure on them now.
Ball goes up and into the hands of Stephen Drench. Drench clears, gives it to Danny Boschel. Boschel back here to Jake Lawler. And to Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson down the left-hand side. Up against Wiley. Wiley's beaten to it. It's cleared. Danny Lowe gets the interception. It goes out. Ben McKenna will take the throw.
Well, now you just have a look and think, what is the option for Guiseley in terms of, can someone come off the bench maybe? You look at the options, it really is either Jordan Henry or Jack Stockdale. What would they be able to offer something going forward? I'm not particularly sure. Stockdale's more of a central defensive midfielder, Henry's a defender, so I think for Guiseley it's really is a case of sticking with what they've got and trying to change that formation a little bit. But they're aiming a lot of balls over the top, hoping that that'll be the way forward. But you've got to say Stalybridge, despite the height deficit they have, they're more than happy for that to continue happening. So for guys that they've got to try and do something, just something a little bit different. Maybe play it on the floor a little bit more. Just see if they can gain from that.
Ball over the back here, looking to get Michael Potts into the fray. Potts by the byline, drilled in across the 6-yard box. Towards the back here, Peter Wiley will collect. Wiley's got 4 to aim for in the penalty area. Goes down towards the touchline, drills it across the face of goal. There's a shot in. Well saved by Stephen Drench. Super drive comes in then from I think it was Chippendale who got the shot. A good firm palm from Stephen Drench to palm the ball up in the air. But Guiseley are currently living on their nerves here. 2-0 down. Well beaten as it stands. Now, Andy Holdsworth threads the ball towards Dickinson. It's beaten away. Picked up here by Sim. Throw comes in now from Toulson. Finds Gavin Rothery into Adam Boyes. Over the top here towards Liam Dickinson. He doesn't win it. It's a good tackle comes in on him from Regan. Guys, will have a throw though, and this is a chance maybe for, well, I was going to say maybe for Ryan Tilson to take the long one. It's not going to be that in the end. It's Andy Holdsworth who'll take. Sends it short to Gavin Rothery. 15 minutes to go. The cross comes in up towards the back post. Ollie Johnson goes to battle or compete for the ball with the goalkeeper, Etheridge. Etheridge claims rather comfortably. And at the moment this game is threatening to peter out, isn't it, really? 15 minutes to go. There's not much of a competitive edge to it left at the moment because, well, Stalybridge might get more. Guys, you just don't look like they're going to get one back in this game. Meanwhile, the ball has just gone out for a goal kick from Sim. Mark Bauer comes onto the field, launches it forward to get the ball back into play.
Just, completely right there. Just the only thing I remember the game against Brackley, it felt a lot like this. And then Ollie Johnson came on, changed it all, and within 2 minutes, the Lions were in the lead. But it doesn't feel like today can be that day because every time Stalybridge get forward, it looks like they could get something. And every time Guiseley get forward, it just feels like Stalybridge are more than happy to be in that position and are able to clear it. And, well, the goalkeeper, you've got to say Ross Etheridge, has he really had a save to make in terms of a really big save he's made? And apart from that Danny Boschel effort just before half-time, you've got to say no.
Ball now with Potts for Stalybridge as they come down the left-hand side again. Chippendale, Potts combine so well down that left flank. Potts has got 2 to aim for in the area. He's up against Rothery. Lays it back here. Chippendale's cross is blocked. And it's a corner. He's shown his worth, Chippendale, today. Got the first goal. It's been a thorn in the side. He vastly experienced player himself. Played in the Scottish Premier League with Inverness Caledonian Thistle. Also played at Accrington, Stanley, Bury. And guys here felt the quality he's got to offer. Michael Potts now will take this corner from the left-hand side. 12 minutes to go. Stalybridge leading by 2-0. Guiseley reduced to 10. Pretty forlorn task this at the moment. They'll be making another change. Looks like Jordan Hendry coming on. Corner comes in. Stephen Drench claims well inside his own penalty area. Goes long. Up towards Liam Dickinson. He's on his own with two battling with him. The defender gets the header away, Hughes, and he plays it into the feet of McKenna. McKenna sends it to the right-hand side. Powell picks the ball up. Powell into the feet of McKenna. Ben McKenna drills it across the face of the area. Well cleared from Toulson. Now Ollie Johnson on the ball. Can Guiseley do something here with Ollie Johnson? Gives it to the right-hand side. Danny Boschel gets the ball into the feet of Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson can't get past his first man. Sticks at his task though. Gets into the area. Drills a crawl into the across the face of the goal and wide. But great invention there from Ollie Johnson. The only thing that was going to happen today was Ollie Johnson doing something special there in that whole move, and he did. He managed to ride the challenge, keep the ball, and then get the shot drilled across the face of the goal. But in the end, it's behind for a goal kick. And Guiseley's third substitute will be made. And Andy Holdsworth will make way. And perhaps with the game up, it's no more than a chance to give Jordan Hendry a chance to run out, maybe use his legs and run down that right flank somewhat more than Andy Holdsworth would be expected to do. All three subs now used for Guiseley, not one used for Stalybridge. Clearance headed out by Hendry. There's his first touch. So some scores coming through. So we just check the scores here. Fylde 6, Colwyn Bay 2. Eastleigh have now taken the lead against Welling in the conference, and Harrogate 3-1 up now at home to North Ferriby. Leamington have equalised. Leamington 1, Lowestoft 1. Big game at the bottom there as well. Ball forward from Mudimu. Up in the air from Hughes. Headed on by Lawler. Towards Dickinson. Dickinson on the halfway line. He's pulled back. Guys who get the free kick on the halfway line. 10 minutes to go. 0-0. Boschel on the ball. Gives it to Gavin Rothery. Rothery up against Mudimu. Plays the ball back. In here to Toulson. Toulson blocked by Sims. Looked like a handball in the block. Hands is the decision. Solihull 1, Hensford 1. Hensford getting the equaliser there at Damson Parkway. The free kick comes into the penalty area. Goalkeeper Ross Etheridge, as he's been all afternoon, commanding, claiming the ball and taking it down.
Yeah, and yet again, one of them crosses where Guiseley just keep doing the same thing. It's that ball trying to put the keeper under pressure, and apart from that one time when no one were actually contesting it...
Oh, there's a loose ball back there, and it to a Sim who almost found through for McKenna to attack. In the end, guys, he managed to scramble it away at the expense of a throw. Sorry, Tom.
Well,
came from nothing, didn't it?
Yeah, it's just one of them where it's such a loose ball there that you're not expecting anything to come from it, and in the end, Stalybridge get into a decent position. I think that just shows you that Guiseley have been very one-dimensional today, trying to do the same thing every time. Stalybridge have been able to mix it up. They've been able to go long, go short, and they kept Guiseley guessing, and in doing so, they've been creating the chances.
Throw in for Stalybridge down this left-hand side. It's Regan who will take. Regan will launch this one in as Stalybridge have the long throw opportunity from the edge of the 18-yard box. It's repelled, sent back, picked up here by Potts. Potts up against two. Sends the ball back here to Mudimu, who plays a good one into the area. Stephen Drench is underneath it though, claims well. And rolls the ball out well to Danny Boschel, but no peace for Danny Boschel because McKenna's chasing him down. The ball goes forward towards Adam Boys, beyond him. He's a little forlorn here at the moment, can't even get hold of the ball again. And it's picked up here by Regan. He's closed down well by Ollie Johnson. Miserable day as well for Bradford City in the League One. They're now 3-0 down. Preston, of course, looking for automatic promotion. Bradford were reduced to 10 men in the first half, so Bradford 0, Preston 3 latest score. Guiseley 0, Stalybridge Celtic 2. That's the score from here. And they could make it worse here as they come forward with Chippendale. He's found McKenna into the area. McKenna's skipped past one, gets a shot away with his left foot. It's a pass back in the end to Stephen Drench. He didn't get the connection he was wanting, but again, Guiseley, perhaps as we go and search for this equaliser, undone. Dickinson into Danny Boschel. Boschel collides with Madimu. And in the end, the result is a Guiseley corner. Madimu's not happy about that. He feels he was fouled. Perhaps an opportunity for the Lions, perhaps to snatch a goal back, maybe ask a few questions in the last 5 if so. The 10 men have a big task ahead of them though if they are to get anything out of this with just 7 minutes to go. Well, just over 6 by my reckoning. And 2-goal deficit to overhaul. Rotherham with the corner on the right-hand side, floats it in towards the penalty spot. It's backwards for Jake Lawler to chase. It's comfortably headed away. Jordan Hendry plays the ball out to the right-hand side. A good delivery, just managed to evade Chippendale and then into Gavin Rothery. He can't get past, though, Chippendale, who works hard to get the ball away. It's into the hand, into the chest, rather, of Sim. Claim for handball, nothing given. And now Michael Potts will come away with it down that left-hand side. Good tackle from Ryan Tilson. Harrogate 4, North Ferriby 1. North Ferriby's season perhaps over now. They've won the FA Trophy and that playoff hopes have well disappeared.
I think that's the thing now with the season they've had in terms of winning that. It's been a good season for them and now they'll focus on next year. But for Guiseley, just got to look at the next game in Bradford Park Avenue. It makes that game even more crucial because at the end of the day, not only do you want to guarantee your place in the playoffs as soon as possible, you want to have momentum going into them playoffs. You don't want to be going in off the back of losing 3 or 4 games. So for Guiseley, they need to get going. They need to start performing, and they need to do it as soon as possible.
Well, scrappy period of play there. Sees Liam Dickinson chase the ball back to the goalkeeper. Now Ollie Johnson on the ball. Ollie's on the left-hand side here. He's trying to get past the defender Wiley, who does well to win it. Gavin Rothery takes over. Little back heel towards Ollie Johnson, blocked out. Jake Lawler plays it back to Stephen Drench. Stephen Drench has a few options ahead of him. He launches it long, and then it goes over everyone into the goalkeeper's hands. 2 big goals in the conference. Kidderminster Harriers are now 2-0 down against Bristol Rovers, so Bristol Rovers getting the 3 points they need, as are Grimsby, who are now 2-0 up against Alfreton. So the 2 sides chasing Barnet, who won earlier on today against Dartford 1-0, are still hot on the tails of the current leaders in that division. As he get the ball away with Danny Lowe into the Stalybridge half. And now flicked on, and there's some space here for McKenna to work in for Stalybridge as they come on the counter-attack. Crosses into the area, hits Danny Lowe, still not cleared. Guiseley eventually get the ball back to Stephen Drench. 3.5 minutes to go. 2-0 down. Liam Dickinson not going to get any decision for the header there as he goes for the challenge. Ollie Johnson on the left-hand side picks up the ball, plays it in towards Adam Boys. Easy for Regan to cut that one out. Played on by Ryan Tilson, cleared up to the halfway line. Big scoreline as well in the Vanarama North. It's Boston United 2, Tamworth 0. That could be a result that's in our favour. 3 points will be between us and Tamworth, and it'll be a head-to-head race at the moment between ourselves and Tamworth for that final spot. With scores as they are, Ollie Johnson uses his hand and then takes a shot from distance. Hits the crossbar, but the whistle had long gone since before then. It's not really in Guiseley's favour that Ollie Johnson continued with the run, and it's behind for a goal kick, and it's a free kick, and it's a chance now for the home side, the visitors rather, to take their first substitute. Oliver Crowley coming on to replace Ben McKenna.
Yeah, I think Ben McKenna's had a really good game today, and just like basically all the attacking players for Stalybridge, they've all had good games, and again, you've just got to say, well done to them, and best of luck in their race to stay up, and hopefully we will be in different divisions next season. I'm hoping they'll be in the Conference North. I'm hoping we'll be in the Conference, but based on today, it looks like both will be in the Conference North next year.
568 here today. Good attendance for this crunch game. I think slightly above the average for our season so far. Deeply disappointing scoreline though. Lions losing 2-0. Gainsborough Trinity have got one back against Gloucester City. Set up an interesting finish there. Header on by Liam Dickinson, aimless and not aimless, but not able to find a intended target. And there's a counter-attack now for Stalybridge Celtic. Ball's here with Sim. Back now with Mudimu, the local lad who scored the second goal for his home club. Gives Sim the ball, plays the ball into the substitute, who surely was offside. He wasn't. He went through on goal. Oliver Crowley, all the time and space in the world to score, but he put the shot too close to Stephen Drench, who pulled off another remarkable save. And Guiseley, again, continue to be lucky that they're only losing 2-0 today.
I don't know how he's not offside, by the way, because he was offside. He was clearly a yard offside, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean anything. But a very good save there by Drench, and quite rightly, the Stalybridge Celtic fans, whenever a player comes off, they're getting an applause. But Chris Sim, in my opinion, the man of the match today, despite the fact he missed a very, 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 very easy chance. He's bossed the Guiseley defence whenever he was in that position, and the work he did during the first half, he does deserve full praise, full credit. That's what he's getting off the Stalybridge fans, and they'll need him for the rest of the season.
Tom Bentham is the man taking Chris Sim's place there for that second substitute. I'm sure we'll see the third as they work the clock down. The corner goes short, and the 45 are up for the second half. Late equaliser for Halifax against Lincoln City. And you may have just heard that 3 more minutes to play. They're pretty largely irrelevant, I think, from a Guiseley perspective. Stalybridge might get another goal, though. Play it into the area, and it's away. Guiseley well beaten this afternoon. 2-0. And a big shout out for the match sponsors once again from the Tannoy, Overgate Hospice and Elland. And there is indeed that final substitute. Michael Potts comes off.
One former Guiseley man for another.
And he'll be replaced by Paul Ennis. So Michael Potts, he's had a marvellous game, hasn't he? He's proved his point, hasn't he? If it was a point he had to prove.
I don't think there was a point to prove, to be honest. I think, like I said, he played so well for Guiseley. When we were playing Altrincham in that final, he had a marvellous game, and today he really has been fantastic yet again. And I've said that I think Chris Sim would bit man at match in terms of the whole game. I think you could argue Aidan Chippenfield, you could argue Michael Potts, you could argue Alec Madumby. I mean, they've had 4 players there definitely who could all be man of the match.
Guys, to get the ball into the Stalybridge half, and it's well cleared. And it's back with the goalkeeper, Ross Etheridge. Mike Tiller's tweeting us, he's saying, what happened to the lucky scarf? It's a good point. Well, there's only so much a scarf can do. 2-0 down into stoppage time here, playing with 10 men, as we've been doing since the 40th minute of this game. Guiseley completely and utterly dejected and miserable this afternoon. Stalybridge on the ball with Paul Ennis. The former Lion just takes the ball out of touch. Late lead goal for Lowestoft. They lead Leamington by 2-0. 2-1 now. Lions trailing 2-0 here. Big one at the bottom though there for Leamington as they go ever closer to the bottom 3. Chippendale on the ball. up against Toulson. Toulson gets the touch. It's a throw-in. The throw-in just down in that corner. It's really all just about Stalybridge holding and using the clock down as their visiting supporters get into full vocal mood. Meanwhile, Hendry is taking a little knock to the head, and as you can hear, the referee has blown for the full-time whistle. Been a miserable afternoon. Goal in the first half from Aidan Chippendale set the scene on 25 minutes after Guiseley gifted in possession on the ball. It was a very good finish, very cool finish from the striker. The second half, Alec Madimbu added the second with a good striker again from the edge of the area. Guiseley were reduced to 10 men when Danny Hall clipped Chris Sim as he was clean through on goal. They hit the woodwork 3 times as well, Stalybridge Celtic. Stephen Drench pulled off a couple of great saves. Guiseley completely outplayed this afternoon. Very disappointing result for the Lions. And your final thoughts, Tom?
Well, quite simply, first of all, not good enough. I think it's been one of them games where Guiseley are leaving at home really a bit lucky that they've only lost by 2 goals, and that's so disappointing. And you know, for Guiseley now, they've got to improve. They've got to improve going into them last games, because if they don't, you know, they're going to be going into them playoffs with absolutely no momentum. Full credit to Stalybridge. They deserved their win. They deserved to win by a few more goals than they actually did, and that's what makes today so disappointing, because we could have really guaranteed ourselves a place in the playoffs. Instead, we now have to go to the Horsehall Stadium on Saturday, and we've got to win. We've got to get some momentum going into them playoffs, and we've got to guarantee ourselves a place in the playoffs, because at the moment nothing's guaranteed for Guiseley. And yet again, you know, it's so disheartening, the performance. The result hurts, and you know, we've got to move on now. We've got to move on to Saturday, and if we do, we'll be all right. I think we'll still get in the playoffs, but we've just got to improve. We've just got to show a bit more quality going forward, because you know, today quite simply was not good enough.
Not good enough. Well, here's the final scores from the rest of the Vanarama Conference North. Boston United 2, Tamworth 0. Big 3 points there for Boston United, and for Tamworth, a real problem. We'll come to the table shortly. Chorley 0, Barrow 0. Barrow down to 10 men. Fylde 6, Colwyn Bay 2. Gainsborough Trinity 1, Gloucester City 2. Guiseley 0, Stalybridge Celtic 2, as you know. Harrogate Town 4, North Ferriby United 1. Hyde 1, Bradford Park Avenue 3. Avenue next up for the Lions on Saturday at the Horsefall. Leamington 1, Lowestoft 2. Solihull 1, Hensford 1. Stockport County 1, Oxford City 2. In the table, that means that Barrow still top, 78 points from 38. 3 points now between them and Fylde, whose win captures up another 2 points on them, 75 from 38. Chorley, 70 from 39. Boston go up a place to 4th, 67 from 39. Guiseley down into 5th now, 66 from 38. It means Tamworth are just 3 points behind us, 63 from 39. They've played a game more. Oxford City, 62 from 39. They've also played a game more. And then possibly Hensford, 60 from 39. Big ask, really, as we go into the final 4 games of the season, final 3 for those other teams. So, guys, you have to make it count now. It's going to be going. It feels like it's going to go down to the wire. Hope you've enjoyed it this afternoon. No, you haven't. Of course you haven't. Why would you? We lost 2-0, I'm afraid. But we'll be back next Saturday for the visit for the trip to Bradford Park Avenue. See you then.